And it's another day of Cruise Amigos. You'll notice there's only two of us right now. That'd be me, John Reitmeyer, and my cohort over in England. Big drum roll. He's half the man he used to be, but he's twice as big emotionally. No, man, I got to salute you. This is Martin, and Martin is just, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that is really great, man. Congratulations.
Oh, trying to lose some weight. I mean, I've got cruises coming up, John. I've got to lose a bit of weight because we all know we put weight on a cruise. So I'm like, I've got one, this Instagrammable one coming up with Virgin Voyages. So I look my best, but yeah, I'm not quite half a man, maybe about a third. So 3 stone lighter than I was this time last year.
Well, congratulations. I mean, there's just, to lose weight, coming from an expert. I lost more than twice of what I weigh over my lifetime, but it keeps finding its way back. There's little fat cells out in the universe, and they just keep gathering up right around here, So anyway.
Oh, they are. It just takes time, doesn't it? And it comes and goes. It comes and goes. So, and John, listen, I don't know if you've noticed, but I did say a little while ago I was going to do something. I'm now tomorrow 2 weeks of not smoking.
Wow. Congratulations. I mean, my friend Lori tried everything she could to not smoke, and I know the experience. So if you have been 2 weeks without smoking, whoa, I mean, that's fantastic. It's fantastic just in general, but also for your health and your longevity and everything, I'm thinking of starting, actually.
Don't. It's
well,
too
no,
expensive.
because, the bad effects of smoking take about 30 years. And I'm 70. So I figure I could have all the good and none of the bad, you see?
Oh, geez. I started smoking late when I was about 30, so, and now it's too expensive. Two, it's not good for your health, and, and we'll see how far we get. So, yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow, and see if we can get to a month, and then 2 months, and but I've been putting money away each week, John. What I spend, £108 I've spent a week in cigarettes,
Wait
which
a
is
minute now.
what?
So 108
There we
pounds,
go.
that's like $140 a week you were spending on cigarettes?
Yeah, that's how expensive they are over here.
Well, what if that's the encouragement that it takes for you to quit? Fantastic. I mean, but
Well, I mean, what is it? Let's just have a quick recce. That's you sat down. £5,600 a year.
that's more than $7,000.
That's a good few cruises, isn't it?
I was going to say, do you know how much water you could be on for that? Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a gallon of caviar. I mean,
I'll be on Crystal on cruises, won't I?
You will.
I could buy one at that rate.
You got to keep at least one bad habit. We had a famous author named Mark Twain over here in America who wrote about life on the Mississippi and all of those kind of things. And when he was speaking, one of his things is you should never give up all of your bad habits because you're going to get sick one day and you got to go to the doctor and he's going to tell you, well, you got to quit smoking or you got to quit drinking or if you don't have any habits to give up, you're screwed. You're going to die. So you got to keep a couple of bad habits in your back pocket just in case. So, when you.
Oh, I've still got a few there.
When the time comes, you got to have something to give up. So
exactly.
Well, Chillie this morning got thrown out of his room. This is not a complaint at all, but MSC desires that you leave your room by 8:00 in the morning, and then he was off the ship just not long after that and was at the airport. He is right now. The plane took off about 20 minutes ago, and he is flying from Miami up to Raleigh. And he's flying into snow. That's why I put this background up here. You see, I'm just going to get out of the way. That's one of our winters, not mine, but a winter snowmobile up there on Lake of the Woods, one of our big flat water lakes. That's about 80 miles across. But he's actually flying into some snow conditions and things. So it's going to be interesting in a few hours to get a report from him.
Mm.
But we did manage to talk for about 20 minutes or so at the airport and about his the most recent cruise and his next cruises and just everything. He was in really good spirits. So let me roll that tape. And then we will get to criticize and pick it apart and make fun of him when it's all done. So stand by. Now let's see if I can be a better technician than he often is. So I think it's going to start automatically. Here we go.
It looks like you got it going there, hot air John. That's hot air Tom. That's not. You're Nanook of the North John.
Funny with my balloon, with the balloons in the background, and you're calling me hot air. I just don't know where you would have got that thought.
Well, it's totally keeping me confused. Everybody, I am at, as you can probably tell by the background noise, I am at Miami International Airport, waiting for 14 and a half hours for a plane to leave.
It's not fly me into snow. It's 3.5 hours.
So I exaggerate a little bit. So when this is supposed to be live, when the Cruise Amigos are all three supposed to be together, I'll be on an airplane flying north. So Martin is supposed to be with us, but he's been walking the dog since Tuesday. And apparently has forgotten that he was supposed to come do this little clippy thingy so I could tell everybody, hey. So.
And the big question everybody wants to know, I think we should take it backwards. So let's take it backwards. How was getting to the airport and that whole thing this morning? Because remember, when we last talked about this, you were having some wheelchair services issues, and then you had a promise that on this cruise it was all going to be solved.
Yes.
And even to the point that you were supposed to be able to call from your room and kind of get taken care of from the room to the dock or outside the dock.
So I went to breakfast this morning, went up to the buffet, grabbed a breakfast. I came back to the room, and my little room steward said, you're supposed to be out of the room at 8 o'clock.
What time was this then?
I don't know. It was probably 7.
Oh, okay.
So I said, well, hell, I don't want to leave that early. He said, oh, yeah. He said, they asked that everybody be out of the cabins by 8.
You could be at the buffet hanging out or something.
Yeah. So I said, okay. So I went on and finished packing up my computer bag and stuff that I hadn't done. And I picked up the phone, like the guy said. I dialed the service desk, and I said, I need a wheelchair. And he says, oh, yes, Mr. Falls. We'll be there in 5 minutes. I said, okay. So 5 minutes, here comes the wheelchair.
Wow.
And they took me straight down. They turned me over to people in the port of Miami. They took me straight through customs. I was with the custom agent 7 seconds.
Wow.
It's for the whole thing. And straight out to the curb. So I went from curb to the room on the Divina when I got there last week. And I went from my room to the curb when I left it today. So, in fact, they changed their entire policy, apparently, company-wide, over the week's time that I fussed at them about seashore.
Wow, that is so cool. Now, was somebody with you to the curb? I mean, what happened? You didn't just leave the wheelchair sitting there like some bad meme or anything, did you? What?
No. They were still with me. They stayed with me until I was on. I told them, I said, look, a cab or an Uber, either one, doesn't matter, because they have a set fee from the port to the airport. It's $27.
Right.
So who cares? It's whichever one comes first, and I'm ready to go. So I sat there 5 or 6, 7 minutes, And it was delightful. Actually had two. The gal that had the wheelchair, and then the guy that was taking the luggage and stuff. So I had two guys.
Wow. Now, did you tip them out at all?
Of course I did.
Okay.
I keep.
No, people are curious. What's an appropriate reward then for helping you this way?
I go 5 or 10 depending on what they've gone through.
Okay.
So I get a roll, not a roll, $5 bills.
Pad,
you know,
yeah.
$250 worth of $5 bills, and for that purpose, that's my tip money. And I also keep some 20s because I give my room steward a little bit more, and a real good bartender I might give a 10 or a 22. My waiter in the main dining room, but I always give them a little something extra. But primarily for all the wheelchair service and stuff that I get, and the same thing here at the airport too. I tip them the same way. So
you just got me thinking years and years and years ago when $1 was a tip for these kind of things. But my friend Bob, my mentor, would go get 100 $1 bills, all brand new, but then he would pad them like post-it notes. You can buy the goo that you put on the back of a rip-off pad, and then he cut a piece of cardboard on the bottom. So he cut a piece of cardboard exactly the size of the $1. Yeah, and so that's what he had this thing in his pocket, and then whenever he was tip, he'd take it out and he'd rip off, and people would look at it and they're like thinking, is this just a joke? Is this something he just printed? Is this joke? It was hilarious, man. We should do that for you. You should. You send me, wire me $250 and I'll make you a pad of. I'll make you. That'd be 20. That'd be 50 $5 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to make a pad, man. That'd be funnier than heck. And then you can take the pad out and you can just rip them off as you want to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I am supposed to have my mask on because I don't have a drink with me or anything. So I'm supposed to have the mask on. But since I'm talking to you guys on the World Wide Webs and things, I am kind of cheating with the mask business.
It's kind of like drinking. I'll drink for you. Here, show everybody the video.
Okay, yeah, you go right ahead and drink for me, John. I'll smack you.
Okay,
silly.
so now we're going backwards. So we got you off the ship last night. Was there still entertainment on the ship?
Oh yeah, I went to. It was a Freddie Mercury Queen tribute.
Wow.
And it was sensational.
The guy could sing.
The gals, there was 6 singers total.
No kidding. Wow.
5, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 6. 6 singers, dancers. It was just another terrific show.
Now, were these some of the same people that you've seen in other shows? I mean, are they flexible in their Tuesday?
Oh yeah. The shows are the same basic cast, with the exception of the tenor from the opera,
right?
Who I think must be in the hospital because to hit that last note, 7 hernias,
at least,
no doubt.
I was thinking more that his private parts got pulled up into his body, but okay.
Well, that too. But yeah, that was that's the only guy that we didn't see again.
Yeah.
But the basic troupe, they were just fantastic.
Wow.
So, and the shows were all different that I went to. I didn't see any duplicates.
That's really neat. That's neat. So the entertainment, we know now on MSC that the entertainment, at least on the ships you've been on, has been excellent. And what'd you do for food yesterday?
Well, I got to the main dining room for dinner last night, and I decided it's going to be a surf and turf kind of night.
Aha.
So I spent the extra $25 and had another surf and turf dinner before I go home. I mean, I'll have to eat at McDonald's now for 7 months. But I had another surf and turf.
Wait a minute. How's that going to work? Because in 7 months, you got like 12 cruises
And well,
No,
maybe I won't eat McDonald's.
maybe you should have said, I'm going to eat cereal at home for the next 3 weeks till I go on my next cruise.
Wow,
I might have bought that better, but McDonald's, I can't go to McDonald's without spending $8. To me, that's almost like your surf and turf last night, really.
Yeah. And it was good. I have no complaints about the food. There was one lady that I talked to that said, I just don't like the food. How could you not? I didn't have a bad meal the whole damn 2 weeks that I was with MSC.
Well, yeah, there was one thing you didn't like. Oh, it was biscuits and gravy. You said they were
the biscuits and gravy sucked. Now they were awful. But then these are European folks. They don't know what biscuits and gravy are.
No.
I mean, how you damn Yankees don't know what biscuits and gravy are.
Hey, walk that back a little bit. I'll make you some biscuits and gravy that'll put you right upside down and make you drink a whole bottle of Elijah Craig before 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
Well, now I'll do that too. There's just one thing that I needed to get MSC to do.
Yeah.
They need to take Elijah Craig off the bar menu. Oh my goodness. I mean, I have trouble finding places that have Elijah Craig in stock because it's just not. I mean, it's not a well-known bourbon. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
But now to have cruise ships that stock it, I bet I drank probably 6 times more than I should have just because they had Elijah Craig on it. Because I know all kinds of other fun stuff with drinking too.
So what does Elijah Craig cost in the liquor store? I mean, is it about the same price as Johnny Walker, or is it
$40, something like that?
For a fifth.
45.
A fifth is $40.
Yeah.
So it's like twice as much as a bar bourbon then, as a.
Oh yeah.
So it's amazing that
bar bourbon would not sit with me. Yeah, I will occasionally if I have to. I'll drink some Jack Daniels.
How about Jim Beam then? You don't like Jim Beam?
I mean, if I had nothing else to drink, I'd drink Jim. But I've got to at least be at Maker's Mark enough.
Okay, all right. Does Willie Nelson make? He makes whiskey, I think. I don't think he makes bourbon.
He makes Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah. Well, that's another animal. So
yeah, that's okay. That's an argument we don't want to get into.
No. It's just
my son hates me because I will drink Jack. Jack is a Tennessee whiskey.
Yes. Yeah. And for those that don't know, a Tennessee whiskey is a separate legal definition of a kind of liquor. No different than vodka, is different than gin, is different than brandy, is different than rum. A Tennessee whiskey is different than bourbon or whiskey or scotch or whatever.
Yep.
So both in its methodology and for those that are aficionados.
And you sure don't ever want to argue with either true Tennessee whiskey folk or true Kentucky bourbon folk.
Well, that's right.
Because they'll put you in your place in a heartbeat.
You know, when I was, before I was legal to drink, but, I looked old, so I was in bars, but I had a friend that drank bourbon, sour, and orange. But it had to be the sour mix, like the Tom Collins sour mix, and it had to be orange pop. You can't be orange juice.
Oh, Lord.
No, God, no. I know look at that look on his face. You should try it. I had one. I was staying at a Hilton hotel in Minneapolis. Oh, God, probably 3 years ago already now. And I ordered one. And the guy says, well, I'm not going to open a can of orange soda just for your 2 ounces of drink. I says, okay, hold still. And I went out into the lobby and I bought an orange soda and I brought it back into the bar. And he made me an orange or a bourbon and sour. And I added the half an inch of orange pop, which of course mixed into it. And I remember it. It's great, man. You got to try it with ice. It's cold. It's refreshing. The bourbon, it's really bourbon, sour, and orange.
All right, here's my schedule, guys. I go home for 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks. And March the 13th. Yeah, a month from today.
Right.
March 13th, I'm in Port Canaveral to get on the Maravilia back to back.
Okay.
And that's with Elizabeth on location. She's on the Maravilia.
And then you'll be on the ship for the Ides of March.
Do I know her?
The Ides of March is the day. That's a good, no, that was a good comeback. You get an A for that. Ides of March, of course, the day that Caesar got killed.
Yeah, he
His
got
famous line,
iced.
et tu, Brute? You killed you too, Brutus? Yeah. That's a big day in my calendar year. So,
and then the next one is on March 28th.
okay.
I go to Galveston. First time I will have sailed from Galveston. And I do back-to-backs on the Adventure of the Seas. 9-day back-to-back.
And doggone it, my good friend who lives in Galveston, but he passed away last fall. But I mean, I'd have shown you first and a half class service if Jimmy would have just taken such care of you down there.
I
man.
know.
I was,
I interviewed him a couple times.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's been on the show.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
I would love to have hooked up with him. Goodness
I just
gracious.
can't believe that he's passed on. I mean, he's 10 years younger than me and was in perfect health until a year ago, January. He got the diagnosis that he had pancreatic cancer. And, when you get that news, it's never good.
Yeah.
Never good. So, but at least you'll be there. Hey, maybe I can arrange it. Maybe I'll be down in the area too. His wife is there, and maybe we'll have a good old fashioned bourbon salute.
Well, I can't remember. I got to go home and check my records. I was so geared into these 3 cruises. I can't remember if I've got a hotel lined up. I know I got my flights done. I got to go back and double check everything now that I have to start thinking about the next schedule for me. And
Well,
then the next month,
how many are on
next month is bad.
So you got 14 cruises. You had 17, so now you've knocked off 3. You still got. Are you going to start adding a couple now on the other end when you get home?
I added one. I added the inaugural for the Seascape.
That's right. So we're back to 15.
Will be the first time I've been on the inaugural cruise.
You are crazy, man.
So yeah, I've got 15 booked now. I do need. Talking about Cruise Amigos, I need to figure out how many Sundays I'm going to screw you guys up because
we may have to change the show to a different day if this is going to be a thing with you now that you're cruising, because most cruise ships turn over on Sunday.
Sunday's a big day. Yeah,
we just may change the Martin doesn't have he doesn't go to the mine and work. He works from home.
Yeah.
I'm working from home. You just play now and make funnel cakes for your neighbors.
No. I sold it all. It's done.
But it was a joke that you just
ain't no more fryers at my house. They're gone. Out the door.
What I'm saying is maybe we need to take the Cruise Amigos to Tuesday or Wednesday or something. And
I'll look at that to see, because I mean, when you get some of those weird places that I'm going, like sailing out of Los Angeles, and then I got to sail out of Seattle.
Well, I'll tell you what, for all the years we've been doing it, it would be okay to have Sundays off for a while.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I've been locked into Sundays, and you too have been locked into Sundays on the show for years now. And we could do other things and go see people. And so maybe we should look at that.
Yeah. Well, I have no problem with it, especially when I realized that, here again, this 2 weeks in a row that I screwed you up because of my cruising schedule.
Hey, but cruising, we do have to remember that, if this was a religion, cruising would be the god. So,
oh yeah.
So,
yep. So anyway, I did a couple of accessibility videos. I've got a couple more to do. I'm trying now to sort of rebrand my videos. There are 50 content creators that do the same thing. This is a swimming pool. This is a hot tub. This is my steak. I mean, I do the same thing with the steak dinner too. they do a ship's tour. So the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to break away a little from that. And I've got the accessibility thing that I do with my blog.
Yep.
And trying to combine the two and hopefully provide some meaningful content for somebody along the way.
Great.
So
Great.
this is going, I'm okay with doing things that are entertaining. That's more my natural bailiwick, like you. So I'm actually trying to do something that will be meaningful for somebody that wants to cruise or wants to travel. And so I'm trying to look through those kind of eyes now.
Good.
And quite frankly, and this has been evolving over these 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm much better this past week on the Divina than I was either on Freedom or Seashore, because I'm still trying to come up with a niche for me.
Yeah.
So some of it I'll be able to go back and massage it to get into those kind of things. But I'm finding more that toward the end of this cruise, of being able to just say, okay, here's a casino. Let's talk about the accessibility. What does somebody have to do to get in a casino and take part in the games if they're in a scooter or in a wheelchair, if they're partially disabled or mobility challenged like I am, or if they're totally disabled? And are they accessible? Can they play a slot machine? Can they play blackjack? Can they play at the roulette table? So I went through on my scooter and did little clips of myself, how I would turn that into an accessible pastime.
Wonderful. Hey,
So,
good deal, man.
did the same thing with the theater, which that was not finished yet. So that'll be coming.
Great.
Yeah. You can't go sit third row center if you're on a scooter or you're in a wheelchair.
That's right.
But you can damn sure go to their handicap area.
Yeah.
And so you're not as close as maybe you were used to 20 years ago. But you can sure see, you can sure hear, you can sure enjoy the hell out of it.
And you know what? I think we're going to stop it there, because he's going on and he's going to start talking about some of his new plans and stuff. And I think that we should leave that, Martin. I think we should leave that for him to do in his shows rather than kind of spill the beans here. So
That sounds like he's had a good time, doesn't he?
yeah, we were having a great time, and he had such a wonderful time. And and the thing I think that we established, as far as for all the tourists and folks that are listening, is MSC has top-notch entertainment. MSC has a wide variety and top-notch food. Certainly at this moment, you can still, there's no single supplements for Americans. I don't know how it is for you guys on your side of the pond, but that means if you had 3 people who would normally, to save money, have to be in a room together, you can all book 3 rooms right now for exactly the same price.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, over here we've got some great deals for MSC as well, and some of the offers at the moment are amazing. I don't know if you guys have got the all-inclusive promotion on at the moment, where you get the drinks included. That's a bargain. I mean, we've got some great deals with MSC. Bellissima's she's going to be in. She's doing April to June, I think, in Dubai. So MSC are really pushing the boat out, excuse the pun, and really pushing at the moment. So if you want a good deal, MSC is the way to go.
It certainly is. And of course, I guess I only respond like that because it seems like they get picked on more than other people in the chat rooms and stuff. And I don't know why.
I think they had a bit of a bad reputation previously, didn't they? You don't want to go with MSC because they do the announcement in 17 languages and the food is all horrible and it's all European. And it's like, well, let's be honest, John, if you go on holiday, do you go on holiday to have, a burger and chips or egg and chips or something like that? You want to go and experience food from different places. Well, I do anyway when I go on holiday and go cruising. I mean, I love it because it's like you probably have things that you probably won't have at home, or you have your go-to food. Like I love my steak on board. Surf and turf. I'm with Chillie on that. Surf and turf. It's like,
Well, and that's right. You can get things that you just don't get other places, but there still is, there's a quality level. Because I remember the first time we went to Hawaii, and one of the resorts we stayed at, it legitimately did not have good food. I mean, it wasn't flavored well. The temperatures weren't right. There was just something generally off about it. But I got to tell you, folks, if you're hearing things like that about MSC, either that's really old news or somebody's got a bone to pick or something, because we got firsthand knowledge here, both my experience a little while ago and now Chillie's back to back, and he just can't wait to get on another MSC ship. And of course, he's he always was a Carnival guy. That's kind of his history. But boy, he really kind of fell in love with the Royal Caribbean on his first cruise here now too. So I think the good news in all this is that, all the major carriers have risen to the challenge.
Well, I mean, I did MSC Virtuosa back in May last year.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of the pandemic, the first cruise that sailed from the UK, and it was absolutely amazing. I mean, so much so that in May this year we're having our company conference on board MSC Virtuosa, so we're going back on again. And in September, I'm doing the Norwegian fjords on MSC Virtuosa.
Oh man. Well, so you're going to have it firsthand. I think another thing to remember is in any of the dining rooms, folks, different than, if you're in a really small restaurant and you get served something and you just don't like it and you send it back or you change, that's kind of a hit against the profit of that restaurant that night. But on a cruise ship, if you don't like it, just ask for something else. Yeah. I mean, they overmake, first of all, it's and there's no loss to you not eating your plate of food. I know that sounds a little bit like Roman times and eating too much and whatever, but that is the state of affairs on a cruise ship right now. So it's not I don't want to hear about the kids starving in outer Mongolia or somewhere, because that is how the cruise ships are. So don't feel bad about stretching out, trying something maybe you haven't eaten before, and you eat a little bit of it and you go, I'm sorry, but I tried it, just like your mom, come on, eat your broccoli, and hey, I tried it and it's just not for me. Well, okay, you tried it, but what better place than on a cruise ship, because you're really not costing anybody anything by doing that. It's not going against anybody's bottom line that's going to affect you in any way. So it is the time to get out there and try new. On the Epic one night, the sommelier, they came with bean soup, pretty traditional bean soup, navy bean soup. It was delicious, but he paired it up with a bourbon sour. I know it sounds really weird, but I'm telling you, that it's one of the most memorable first courses that I've ever had. The bean soup and the crusty bread and this bourbon and sour. The ice was ice cold, that cold, like from a stream kind of fresh feeling that countered kind of the little bit of the pork fat kind of taste in the beans and stuff. And well, here I am 3 years later talking about it. So take advice from these people. Try new and different things, and you just don't get that chance anywhere else where you don't feel bad if something goes wasted or not. I've sat here and eaten too many pots of chili that didn't taste that good because I made it, and by God, I wasn't going to waste it. But
the thing is, though, John, if you're on a cruise, that cruise line want you to get off and want to be happy. They don't want you getting off going, I didn't like this meal, or I didn't like that. Right? Speak to your waiter, say, I don't like it, can I have something else? We've been on cruises where we've gone, what ship was it? I'm trying to think, was it? It was Princess. And it was like, we actually liked two different meals. So I said, is it possible we can have one to share? We just want to try something. And he said, I'll tell you what, I'll do something different. And it was, my brain's gone, scallop. It was scallops on one plate, and it was steak. And I like my steaks, like I said before. But I said, oh, I quite fancy the scallops. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll make you your own surf and turf. So he actually brought the scallops on the steak. And oh, boy, it was good. You know what I mean? And you've got, just talk to the waiter. They want you to get off and
That's
be
right.
happy.
That's right. And so anyway, that's if we're doing any education here, or for first time cruisers, or I read a lot in the cruise lines, and there's people that are asking very serious to them tentative questions. Like, well, how is it when you eat, or aren't I going to be alone all the time, or anything like that? Ask questions, you guys. There's people that have been doing this over and over again, and I will tell you, there is a kind of a pre-pandemic story and a post-pandemic story to the thing. I mean, it's not like it was my cruise this fall on the Epic transatlantic was not like any of my 6 other Epic transatlantic cruises. I mean, so there is kind of a BC and an AD kind of a story. So also make sure when somebody's telling you something, it's like, is that now, or is that in the I don't want to call them good old days, because every time we're in is the good old, 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about, remember when we started cruising again after the pandemic and how one, so, these are always going to be the good old days, but when we're making comparisons, we always it seems that things get way better as time goes by.
I mean, I think at the moment, if anybody's looking at cruising, yeah, it is different. It's not like it was, in February 2020, and the cruise lines are just getting back to like having the numbers of crew they need on board. And, I mean, even to the shows, I mean, some of the shows they can't do properly because they can only have a set number of the cast on board. They can't have the extra people because of social distancing. So if somebody's ill in that cast, then the entertainment can't go ahead, and people complain about it. But just think back, hang on, if they've got to socially distance the crew like we do on cruise ships, then there's a lot of things that will change, and it will take a bit of time to get back to those pre-pandemic levels. And I think, talking of MSC, last year there was a cruise, a few weeks in the UK, where MSC Virtuosa, they raised the number of passengers that were allowed to travel. But what they didn't do, MSC, was they didn't raise the number of crew. So they got a really bad reputation, really bad rap for it. They got slated, and I mean really slated. I've got a customer has vowed she will never go on Virtuosa. She's already booked. She wants to cancel now. And I was like, but do you not realise that just happened? It wasn't right. We agree with it. It'll be better this year because they're slowly getting back. Don't forget, they've got to pay. They're paying money out left, right, and centre to keep these cruises going with not the amount of people they need. Yeah, the amount of people they need on board to make it as profitable it was before. I mean, some of the cruise ships are sailing with 900 people, and they hold, I think it's 2,500, 3,000 people plus.
Even more,
so they're probably not even breaking even at the moment. But they're there. They're getting us back sailing, and I think. I've been looking the last couple of weeks, and I think we're going to see a lot of changes, I think, in the next 2 to 3 months around the world, not just in cruising, but travel altogether.
And you're saying good changes, different? What are you predicting?
I'm thinking that, now I'll put my head up, I might be wrong, they'll come and slap me afterwards, but I think you'll see a lot of the restrictions lifted. So where we've all got to have, you've got to have this vaccination, you've got to have this form, you've got to have the XYZ to get on board. The problem is now in the UK, I mean, we're a little bit ahead of everybody, and everybody's looking at us. We're on vaccination 3, and some people are on 4, but no countries can sustain vaccinating people every 6 to 9 months. Yeah. It's just not, you just can't afford it. So once we get now in Europe, they're now saying 170, 180, 270 days for you fully vaccinated. But they're now going to come together and say, well, hang on a moment. Everybody needs to be on the same hymn sheet as such and go, right, from this date, we're going to say the vaccinations is not needed because it's starting to wane. The vaccination will wane. The hospitalizations are not there and things. So things need to get back to normal, and they are getting back to normal. If you look around, I mean, us here, a lot of our restrictions have been lifted. The main one we've got at the moment is travel. You've got to fill in a form to come back in, and that's it if you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, then you have to do a test before you fly back and when you get back. that's all got to change, because you can't hold people to ransom like that any longer. It's 2 years, in a couple of weeks. It's 2 years since this has gone on.
Yeah.
And they say it takes 3 to 4 years for a pandemic to be totally gone.
Okay.
But we can't do another 2 years. The cruise industry cannot survive with this.
Yeah.
They've got to get there. And I think, you'll see a lot of changes worldwide, but everybody's a little bit behind each other. Europe's probably about 6 to 8 weeks behind us. I think you guys are probably very similar. So I don't know what your rates are like at the moment and what they're thinking of doing. I know you've still got masks and things. We don't have masks anymore. It's advisable if you're in a place, where you don't feel comfortable. But, I'm at the point that goes, I won't wear it unless I'm asked to. If somebody asks me in a shop or somewhere on a train, then I'll put it on.
Sure.
Other than that, I'm happy to be living my life as it is. So it'll be interesting to see the next 2 to 3 months, I think, how travel changes right across the board.
But that's, if you're saying 2 or 3 months, that's no time. I mean, that's now. It's not like we're looking ahead a year, 2 years, 5 years, a couple of months. We're already we're a month and a half into the new year. I mean, it seems like yesterday was New Year's Eve, and here we are a month and a half into the new year. Well, that's 45 days, almost 2 months. So
we're approaching spring, and the peak seasons for cruises over here are like late spring, summer, and that's where they make their money and things, because outside of the seasons they're a little bit cheaper, the cruises, so they're not making as much profit. And they've done 2 years of losing money. 2 years of losing money, and they're still putting the deals out there that are absolutely amazing deals. Some of the deals I've seen, I'd be cruising every week if I had the money, and I had the time.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to take advantage, because I think they're saying is, how can we buy a future customer? Because we got to run the ship. It takes a certain amount of oil to move through whether the ship is full or half full. That really doesn't change how much it costs to get 1,000 miles on the ship. So anything that they can bring in to kind of keep the machine rolling is just what they got to do now. But, it's going to be interesting when all of a sudden some of these 5,000 passenger ships are up to capacity again. People are going to go, geez, I sure liked it. I sure liked it better when there was 1,000 people on board. Because,
You're right. And I mean, how many was on your transatlantic?
21. It varied a little bit, but about 2,100. So, about half.
Yeah. So it's not much, is it?
No. And generally the transatlantics, always on the Epic, were not to maximum, because they didn't put 3 people in, in the cabins, but they were maximumed up like every cabin was sold with 2 people in it, almost, except for a few of us crazy solos, and then all the solo cabins and the Haven, of course, completely. That's sold out for the next 3 transatlantics already. So it looks like the people who fly in the Haven are going to be on board if there's a pandemic. If there's no other travel at all, the people are still going to be at the ship going, well, I have a ticket for the Haven. I mean, those people are diehards, man. They are just diehards. So
it's mad, isn't it? Us cruisers are really hardened. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, as soon as they announced that cruise going out the UK, I was booked and on it. I need to be on that. 1, because I love cruising. 2, because it's going to be historic. The first cruise out the UK in nearly 2 years. I think when it cruises about 16, 18 months. And it was absolutely amazing. It was quiet, it wasn't the norm. And still not the norm, there's still things going on. But one thing I would say to people is, if you are thinking of cruising in the next, what's on sale this year and next year, book it now, because there's so many cruises sold out already. And cabin grades, if solos sell quickly, we know, but family cabins, 3 and 4 people, they're selling out quickly. I mean, I was looking the other day, and some of the P&O cruises are full. They're actually full already for this year, and a couple for 23. And the reason being is everybody from 2020 and 2021 who didn't want the refund, who wanted to move them, have moved them. So we're going to get this funnel effect where we've got thousands of people wanting to go on a cruise, but there's nothing there. And it's like, the price is there. get your availability. The deals are there. Low deposits. Now's the time. It's a cruisers market. It really is. So whoever your agent is, wherever you book, get in there now. Find things that you want to do, and and travel. We all love to travel. My passion is travel. Like yours, John. It's the best way to see the world is on a cruise ship. It really is.
No question. No question. My travel, of course, right now is, this is unbelievable. I've had as many as 7 vehicles at any given time, but I am down to one old rusted 4-wheel drive pickup right now. But my next pickup, it's not a new one coming, but it has a shift in it, which of course for you guys is pretty standard, but people around here just want automatics. But I found a pickup. It's a beautiful Ford Ranger, and literally one of those stories where only driven by a little old lady to go to church on Sundays kind of a story, and it's like it rolled out of the showroom. But anyway, I can't wait till I get it, because I'm going to be doing some what we call prairie schooner traveling. Schooner, a 2-masted ship, but just to get around the country and get out and see some people here now. And I mean, the minute I get that pickup, I'm going to be doing all my shows remote, man, because I'm heading south. I'm going to go as far as Key West. I've never been to Key West, and I'm going to see.
Really?
Yep, I'm going to see Key West from the ocean, from the land side, and then over to Galveston, and then to Las Vegas, and then friends that moved back to the beach. We lived, down on the beach in California for years and years and years. And in 1988 or so, moved to Tennessee for 30 years, and just now moved back to the beach in California. So I'm going to go see them, and hopefully I'm going to end up in Canada and see some old friends from the music business in the 70s, and come back home. And as long as I can put gas in the pickup, why I'm gonna be a prairie schooning. Is that a word? Schooning?
Driving all across the country.
And wow. It's not like England where you can, the Queen can get on the train and be in Sandringham. What do you call it?
Sandringham.
In time for tea. I mean, from here to Nashville is 1,208 miles, and then from Nashville to Key West is just about the same.
Wow.
And then from Key West back up the Florida Panhandle and over to Galveston is about 1,500 miles. And then it's 1,200 miles out to Los Angeles, and then it'll be 1,200 miles north to California or Canada, and then about 900 miles back here. So if I make the whole trip, that's what you're talking in miles.
Jeez, wow. And do you think that car's going to last?
Oh, yeah. It's those engines, that Ford Ranger engine, easily 200,000 miles, and this one's got less than 80,000 on it. So, and it's been completely through a repair shop and checked out, and it's the only thing it needed was a new clutch. And again, you were talking about delays and things. The clutch is hydraulic. When I push it, it's pushing a hydraulic cylinder, which then changes the clutch in the transmission. And they couldn't get one of those pieces in that hydraulic cylinder. That's why I have not been having that pickup for a month now.
Jeez.
So, and I finally said, go to a wrecking yard and just buy that whole assembly off an old wrecked one, because it won't matter if that's not going to get hurt. So, that's the cat's tail right there in front of
the cat's tail blocking your face.
That's funny. He's been rambunctious today. He knocked one of my external hard drives right hard on the floor. Just bam.
Oh, well, before we came on, John, I was in the background waiting for John to let me into the show. And all I could hear was, you need to let me sit down. You need to let me sit down.
Oh, yeah. Well, all of a sudden, he's this is not your food, Kitty. This is my after show food here. What's going on? All of a sudden, he decided to sit in my chair, and I'm trying to convince him that I don't believe in, like hitting a cat or a dog. And, I try and encourage them because they get smart if you do it a few times. But he's never just kind of claimed my chair and said, I'm sitting here and I don't care what you have to say. So
our puppy's the other way, Gio. He sprawls out on the couch. It's like off, who fit? And in the end, you're like pushing him off. He's so stubborn. It's not that he doesn't know what to do, because sometimes he will eventually get off, but most of the time it's like, this is my sofa. You go and sit somewhere else.
There you go. So what do
but
you do with your dog when you're cruising?
he'll go in the kennels. So we have a lovely kennels, and I don't think we've mentioned this on the show, but they have two. Believe it or not, you know, like you have choice when you go cruising. He has choice. He can either go in the kennels, or he can go in the lodge. Now, the lodge, your kennels is like, it's got a little outside area, it's got indoors and a bed. Now, the lodge has got a floor to ceiling window at the front, one at the back as well, so you can look out on the field. It's got a sofa in there. There's a fireplace painted on the wall. They pipe the radio in for him.
Oh, but of course.
He's got a big bed at the back and a lovely heated lamp, all toys in there. It's a lap of luxury. So, but he loves it. He loves it. You know, it's the best. It's great. So, but yeah, no, he goes there, and I think he's looked after there, and he goes off, and it annoys us because you know when you drop them off.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you that's where he is right now. He went and he's sitting on the table in front of one of the TV monitors. So
bless him.
Do you ask him then? Would you like to go to the kennels this time, or would you like to go to the lodge, or how do you decide?
Of course, I'm a travel agent, so I give people choice. So I ask him what he wants to do, and every time it's the lodge. And the lodge is more expensive than booking the other kennel.
But of course,
you know. But it's £22 a night, you know, and he gets looked after, he gets walked, gets played with, and things.
Yeah.
So it's worthwhile. So what's that, about $30 a night? So, but we love it. So, and then he goes off, you know. When you take him, we're like, oh, we don't want to leave him. He's not going to want to leave us. No, he's off straight away with them. He's gone, you know. It's like, before you're like, oh, all right, goodbye then.
Yeah. Hey, at least you could say goodbye and pretend that you miss us, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. We get pictures sent and little videos each day as well, so that's quite nice. But yeah, we've got a bit. The longest we'll have left him is coming up in May. We're going to be leaving him for 13 days.
Wow.
14 days. Okay. So yeah, we've got 3 days in Rome, and then we've got the Celebrity Beyond. So that one coming up. And actually, talking of cruising, it's my turn next. Next. So March is a big month for me.
When are you going out then? What's your date in March?
Well, I suppose I can announce it now. We're the Valiant Lady, which we're doing cruise with Martin. So I'm taking 50 passengers on the 18th of March. I'm actually getting a sneak preview, and I've been invited on the Family and Friends VIP cruise on the 6th of March to the 9th of March. So we'll be getting
a sneak peek. 6th to 9th, and then you turn around and get your travel group right with you right behind that.
On the 18th, yeah, we'll be going on again. But in the meantime, it's coming into Liverpool to showcase it to travel agents, and I'm going on for a day with them. So I'm going to be on it 3 times in the space of 3 weeks.
Oh man, that's so neat. So what else have you got? How many Chillie's back up to 15? What do you got in the bucket right now?
I've got 3 at the moment. So, but I won one at work. I won a cruise at work, a 7-night cruise anywhere on MSC. But I can only take it between now and the 31st of March.
Is it going to work, or are you going to lose it?
No, it's not going to work. I don't think so.
Okay, if I grew a beard and shaved my head, wore my contacts, do you think I could? Hello, my name's Martin. I'm here for the cruise.
We'll try it. But yeah, so that first world problems, when you can't fit a cruise in because you've got too many cruises going on. We did try. We looked at Dubai on the Virtuosa because she's over there. But we're getting off the Valiant Lady and we need to have a test to go to Dubai. And it'd be flying out that day we get off, and it's like, well, we're on a cruise for 3 days. How can we get a full PCR test when we're on a cruise? So that didn't work, and I tried everything. I did try everything,
if you're not a good cruiser unless you tried everything, including bribing all of the different people that are. If you're not doing bribes, you're not a real cruiser. So
you're right, but no, I mean, I've got 3. We've got Beyond, we've got Virtuosa to the fjords, and we've got Valiant Lady going to Bruges twice. So that'll be quite nice. So yeah, so we'll bring that live to. Well, I don't know if it'll be live. I'm thinking. What days is it? What days on the 6th? I think it's a weekday. I think, if memory serves me right. Where's my calendar? Yeah, 6th to the 9th we're on. Oh no, actually, it's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. 6th to the 9th is in Wednesday. You get off on Wednesday.
yeah, we'll get off on the Wednesday, so we can come live on that one. That'll be quite nice because we'll be the first ones on the ship.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you
Oh,
know, so that'll be.
yeah. You heard
Uh,
Chillie talking, and not counting this one cruise that's kind of in the week there, but what do you think about moving the show off of Sunday? Because
I'm easy. I'm easy. It depends what do everybody else want. I mean, it's Sunday now. I'd love a Sunday off. I'm like you, John. And when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's right. Love a
and you're
Sunday.
the new boy. You're the new boy. I mean, this has been going on for years now, you know. And I don't mind it. I mean, I love it, but it would be nice in my week to just have one day of nothing electronic. No, because otherwise the other 6 days I'm in front of either for work or for other shows. You know, I'm in front of the cameras and stuff, or the Zoom stuff 7 days a week right now. And to just have, even God made the horses rest on the 7th day, you know. So
we don't get a day's rest, do we? And I'll tell you, if you travel agents have had 2 years of no rest, you know,
Yeah.
so having a day off on a Sunday would be nice. But no, I mean, I'm easy whatever day. It's great, you know. But we've got to check we don't clash with, you know, people like Emma Cruises and other people, you know. It's a mad schedule out there, isn't it? You get people doing different things, and it's like, well, if I fit it in here and they're not doing that, and
in one of the chat rooms that I'm in is the group that has, you know, 4,000 agents, and there's about 400 that are active in that one chat room. But there's new people coming in all the time, of course. And you know, like this yesterday, this one girl was saying, you know, she had some customers that in my mind were kind of in distress. And she goes, well, it's Saturday, so I'm not going to call them till Monday. And I'm going, oh, sweetheart, you are not going to last as a travel agent. If you think you're going to leave your customers stewing Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday when they're working, you're going to get a hold of them with their problem. No. I'm sorry, you are not cut out for this business. You know,
that's being a travel agent is a 24/7 job. You know, even if you just respond to say, I've got your email or I've got your message, I'll call you tomorrow. Or if it's really urgent, you're on the phone to them and sorting it out straight away.
That's right. But even if you're making contact, you never say, well, it's Saturday and I'll get a hold of them on Monday. It's like, that's going to last about that long. So
it will. So do you know what? We spoke so long, John. We've not even looked in the chat room. We got any questions?
Well, I was going to say, we got to get over there because we got to, you know, we got our hour commitment here now. So Emily, of course, is with us as a good and, you know, what a loyal customer and viewer she's been. So hi, Emily. Carol, hey, hola, señorita, ¿cómo está? Emily, yes, Chillie. And Chillie has flown. There's notes in here where he shut his phone off and the plane took off. Nikki, of course, I think she lost a cruise due to some health issues now, but we hope they get right back in the game here. Yes, that was Bernie Sanders. For those of you that don't know, he was the third party candidate running for president last time. And he got you know, whether he gets elected or not my thing, but he did get a raw deal from both parties as far as how they, you know, it's like all of a sudden the two extreme parties are buddies is when it comes time to shoot the other guy down. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, it was not fair. But anyway, that's Bernie. And so 99 Luftballons, yes. 9 and 90. Nikki Singleton says 9 is 9 and 90 is 90. Is it a reference to 9? Actually, it's just a meme. Bernie Sanders went to the inauguration and it was really cold that day and he had those mittens on and he sat in that chair. And the lady who knitted those mittens has now become this huge successful knitting company lady because did Bernie Sanders things. So Kenneth, good to see you. Emily, Carol, Emily, they're talking with each other. Yes, and Chillie got off. He is now in the air somewhere, so he can't see us. Well, Emily, yeah, you said, you know, like in any restaurant, but as I said earlier, Emily, but, you know, if you're in a little 20-seat restaurant and you send a $50 meal back, the restaurant eats that. I mean, and I don't mean physically eats it. They eat the cost of that meal. And so I try not to do that in those smaller, you know, because it's not necessarily their fault that I didn't like it. But that to me is the difference on a cruise ship is taste it. If you don't like it, it was already made anyway. It's going to feed the fishes before you taste it or after you taste it. It doesn't matter. So that's my thing.
I love it. I love escargot on my cruise. Every cruise.
Really?
Yeah, snails. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Love
They
it.
actually peel them off the bottom of the ship. They send out a diver and they just, so they're fresh. They were swimming in the ocean an hour before you ate them. So
Jeez.
Sunny says she agrees with Martin. We have to learn to live with this. And Sunny, I think we're finally all in agreement on that. So, Emily's got a farewell party of 4 plus the dog at her house. Sonny is talking to Nikki and Carol, and we've been going back and forth with different health things there. Kenneth has got a COVID test at 11:30. Hawaii law. Then the tailgate part. Oh yeah, the big game today. It's our Super Bowl.
Oh, it is, isn't it? That you have that big concert, don't you, at the beginning, and then
it's halftime. It's at halftime.
How did he do? Oh, and we're over the hour. We can talk about that next week.
Next time. But yes, we should talk about that. And it's going to be a hip hop concert today. And most people are going, football players and hip hop are, that's like oil and vinegar, and it doesn't make a good salad. So anyway, bring the Broogie board. Sounds like fun. Martin, will you be doing live streams? The answer is always yes. Martin does awesome live streams. And that's the end. And we're over an hour. We got to go. Martin. Always wonderful.
John, it's been great, and it's been so nice, just the two of us, isn't it? As much as we love Chillie, it's just been nice. We've held the fort. Yeah, we've held the fort. He
held the fort. He's flying home. We'll hear. Of course, you can tune into Chillie Chat tomorrow at his regularly scheduled time, and he'll have everything about today's story. Martin, think about what day we're going to start doing the show on. I hope your dog had a good walk outside. By the way, next week, pictures of Martin. Like centerfold spreadsheet pictures of Martin next week. You won't believe this guy. Goodbye, everybody. See ya.